So we are all done with the negative G F3 crawler here, and we've had it out a few times and have had a blast with this thing. I think the build turned out really great, and there's a few more things that we're going to be kind of changing and waiting to buy for it and everything else. So let's talk about the final build here, what I did, what's going on. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel, and let's talk about the F3 today. So the F3 is great, and I really want to give a huge shout out to Jess and Ferrati, just because without seeing Ferrati's videos of this, like, I never would have got this and got back kind of into like crawling. My TRX4 and my Vanquish 4 dice would literally still just be sitting on shelves. And the reason why is because what I said at the beginning, they're big, they're bumbly, they're kind of annoying because they're always flipping over and all that kind of stuff. But you know, they are what they are. They're crawlers. This thing has not disappointed as far as how it performs. And, you know, I am obviously a noob when it comes to this type of stuff. I'm still learning to drive and learning how to like film and drive at the same time, things like that. So there's a lot of learning that I need to do here. So we'll start with things that I will do differently next time. I kind of went off of like some of Ferrati's pictures and videos on how he mounted the creep body here. So next time what I would do is with the body mounts, I would actually turn these around, this whole mounting system here. So the body would be pulled back a little bit more, and I would be able to maybe keep a little bit more of my front hood here and kind of cover up the front. That's just kind of something I think that would just be nice, because I do notice that some of this stuff still gets like kind of hung up on things that I do, because I'm not really crawling over rocks like 90% of the time. I'm trailing and that kind of stuff. And most people will probably say, well, this might not be the ideal trailing truck, but I don't really know that for sure. It did just fine out on the trails for me. I'll see in the video that we put here at the end, you'll see like my first impressions of it and just kind of some general stuff that I did with it. The gearing and the speed and everything on 4S is great. I've been using a 4S 1300. I have some 850s on the way, so that way they fit definitely in here a lot better. This 1300 will fit in there just fine. It's a small size, but we'll go with the 850 so we can get the weight down a little bit more. Right now we're at 4.6 pounds with that 850 battery, and if I can ever get a hold of some squid inserts or the 3B, whatever they're called, that go to match the inverse wheels, then we should be able to get the weight even lower. Now, I did find a final mounting position here for the big Wraith ESC, and I found this little print on Thingiverse that just kind of like goes underneath the chip there that will allow you to get like a nice mounting surface to kind of shoe everything to onto the plate. Maybe a cool idea in the future would be if Jess is able to kind of integrate maybe this into like the skid plate itself, so that way we can just go ahead and put the ESC right into the skid plate and not have to worry about attaching this in between to kind of take up that space. So just kind of an idea, but you know, if that works out, you know, this works out perfectly. And then, you know, I've got my wires going across here, obviously the receiver going down to there. This setup is ran and everything runs and works perfect. Wiring is a little tight back here because again, I got the body coming up against the mounts here, but if I got the body back a little bit, I would have a little bit more room, and then I could just basically run the XT60. I mean, I could do it right now, but you know, it'd be a little bit tighter. But as of now, everything is super clean and super tight. Now, when it comes to the assembly of it, everything went just fine. I was nervous about the cut-to-length drive shafts. It's really not a big deal. You just want to make sure that when you are making your cuts that you cut off of the end where you're supposed to cut and not off of the end that has the receiver part built into it back here. So you'll notice that it'll be pretty simple and easy to do. Obviously, your front one is going to be way shorter than the one in the back, so just be careful of that when you're doing that. Besides that, a little bit of help from Jess on the front when it came to how you have to mount the actual steering linkage and everything for the TRX4 axles. Kind of have to move some things around a little bit and shimmy them a little bit, and then make sure that your servo horn is like a 20 millimeter and it's not like a 25 and really long. So this thing is setting perfectly level. It's setting literally at full droop in the front, so the whole front here is setting on of the servo on axle mounts, and then I've got just a little bit left here in the back, but you can see that I can lift this all the way up and get some extension. I haven't played or experimented with the rubber bands or anything like that yet, so we'll get around to that. We got a lot of snow out there, which comes to like the downside of the power package is that, you know, you can't really play in the rain and the wet and the snow and stuff a lot with these outrunners and ESCs, and that's just kind of the stuff that you want to run if you want like the ultralight, you know, type of package. So I'm already thinking about what can I do to my Fordyce over there as far as converting it over to something like this, because I did end up going out and getting a Fusion SE to put in there, and that way, you know, I can have another rig. You know, again, if it wasn't for all of the videos and everything like that, I never would have got this far, and it kind of got back into crawlers, and I'm loving it and having a good time, and I'm able to go outside, spend more time outside with the dog. You know, he loves to go on walks and hikes anyway at the nature center that you'll see that I'm at. Unfortunately, I have to train him a little bit more to stay away from the cars because he loves chasing the bashers and the crawlers out in the backyard. So you'll see in the video that the 4S power and the gearing I have in here, which is the stock spur gear that it comes with, and then I actually have a 13 tooth pinion on there, 32 pitch. Make sure you do that. I kind of messed up on that. I didn't know that these were 32 pitch gears, again, a noob type of a thing. So we got that all sorted out. Spacers and screws to have some extra stuff to make everything work is definitely a must. If you go on to A-Main or wherever and just look for like M3 spacer kit, you'll see all kinds of aluminum spacer kits that I've used for like my B6 buggy and you know, things like that. They come in various different sizes, and you'll able to go ahead and throw those in there. I'll probably actually replace some of these back here because I do have like some plastic ones going on where I didn't have the right sizes that I wanted for everything. And then now that I know that everything is working well and everything is completely put together the way I want it to, I'll go back in and do things like thread lock my drive shafts and all that kind of stuff, so that way we don't have to worry about that. The Desert Lizards they seem to be pretty nice. I guess at this point I wouldn't really know if they were or were not, but they seem to be very smooth. I built them how Crawler Canyon does and recommended on his channel. I've got the body posts up a little high here in the front. I know Jess said something about having them down low, but right now with the way that I've got the creep body mounted and cut, that's just kind of the way it is. So I'll address that again in the future when we do that, and then that'll allow me to, you know, not have so much cutout going on right here if we pull that back. So all in all, I am like super happy and impressed with the way everything is. I definitely believe that I got my money's worth out of this, and I'm going to enjoy this in the future and follow Negative G for everything. The support and the group and everything seems to be growing, and everything is excellent for sure. I wish we had an inroad to get the whole package, because I definitely want some of those inserts, which won't be available maybe for weeks. I'm not sure, based off the conversation I had with the gentleman. And I did go with Hyraxes again, a new pair. With Proline dual stage foams inside, if you're wondering, just because that was like a tested and recommended combo on Negative G's website for these inverse block party wheels, which are again perfect. Everything went together great, and you know, I think they look really good. The carbon fiber look on them and everything is pretty sweet. They go together super easy, and I just, again, the whole experience with everything has been great, and I guess we'll see how it compares to other experiences and builds in the future. Who knows where this will go? It's definitely going to get driven and played with and tested and everything else, and I can't wait for it to dry up and try some more. So please enjoy the running video here at the end, and if you got any questions, please let me know. Appreciate each and every one of you. Peace. Well, after spending most of the time this weekend, she is finally ready, and we did a little test run at the house just to make sure everything is good, and so far from what I could tell, everything is good. So what we're looking at is the -G F3 running the Wraith ESC 1900 kilovolt motor. Got a 4S 1300 in there right now, 12 tooth pinion. All the good stuff for the build and everything is going to be up here in the corner in the playlist if you want to take a look at it. So we're going to do some testing just right now. So the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of wheel speed, show you guys what we got. So that is full forward, stops on a dime. Then we got reverse, which I have turned down to about 65% because reverse seems pretty crazy. I just don't know if that's the way these new electronics work or if there's something that I didn't do correctly in the ESC settings. Now they're all set to stock just like Jess says to do. Changed the KV in there, made sure a couple boxes are checked, and that's about it. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Pretty much the same stuff back there. Now the one benefit to this baby is getting it out here, and if you gotta lug it back, it's literally like half the weight of my TRX4. The dog would just be devastated if he knew I was at one of his favorite places without him. But again, he likes to attack these things. He's a good boy though. He is sick. He's got a the doggy flew. Let's see. I'm gonna get down to the river. That's probably the fastest, driest way. Oh, Sasquatch. About 80% throttle here walking. So it's definitely fast enough for a trailer. And the one downside about having a rock crawling car on the trails is that the body provides you with a lot of protection from sticks and stones and all that stuff getting into you. So this might not be the ideal trailing rig when it comes to that aspect, but I am definitely going to give it a whirl. See how pretty everything is down there. Of course, we're running an outboard motor, so we can't get this thing into the wet. It's the one benefit about getting something like a Fusion Pro, is that you can still take your crawler into the water. So I do have a Fordyce sitting there. I did steal this servo out of it because this servo has got some crazy torque numbers. Even at 7.2 volts, it's definitely north of 500. I think this will go all the way up to 8.4 volts and get you almost 600 ounces of torque. So it's the Eco Hobby, the power boost one. It's like 110 bucks. Let's go down here first. See, we just got hung up on a stick there. So I guess I kind of know what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. What do we have down here? Not much area for me to stand in. Got another drop off here. I'm fairly certain there is a place to get to that is not a drop off. There we go. There's some good roots to root around in. Let's see what we got for rocks though. This stuff is pretty slick right now. And of course, I didn't wear my boots. I just kind of ran out the door. Oh yeah. We've got some play area. We got some white water going on there. Everything is beautiful. Now you might be saying, again, most scale RTR trucks could probably do this. And I would say at this point, you are correct. But it just won't look as damn cool as this. That is for sure. But it's breaking over some good points. There's nothing to get hung up on when it comes to the body. And those are some slick rocks right there. Yeesh. Let's see. Let's try to get through this. And then we can head back up land I think the camera's probably struggling in the light anyway. So we got a big tree root there. You got water to the right. We don't want no part of. Yeah, we're not going to sneak through this freaking tree root. Alright, it's up and out of here. I need to get up and out of here. Here's a good, dirty, muddy, wet face. Oh, nice. Man. Really beautiful out here today. A little cooler than it has been lately. Typically the dog would just be running up and down through here, dipping his toes and his mouth in the water. I feel bad again. I know I brought it up a few times. So I guess this will also be a good test for voltage, just to see how much we took out of the pack and how much we actually drove around here. This is always a nice place to stop right here. Just a dead stop. We'll go up and around that root right there. There's some big stuff to play on right there, but it's getting a little too dark back here. Probably should be skedaddling. Yeah, all down in here. Those will be good rocks to play on. This is Ohio though. We don't have those western Velcro rocks. We have to deal with Mother Nature here. moss, mud, wet leaves. This is the Sandusky River, and we are at the crest line. This, you'll notice up there, the water will go north towards Lake Erie, and the rest of it, like right here, will go south. We got more to play down there. Got about, I think there's like 30 some acres here at this nature center. Really well taken care of, at least the paths are.